Welcome to my tutorial series on how to make an action RPG in Unreal Engine 4. In this video, we're going to add some jumping animations to our character, and we're going to add a crouching toggle to our character also. Let's get started. So to add the jump animation to our game, we're going to go into our web browser. I'm going to go to Mixamo, as we've done in the past. And I just searched jump, and this is the jump I want right here. Now, when you click on it, you'll be doing this backwards jump, which is not going to affect us because we're going to use the in place feature, which will make it look like that, which is a lot better. Then we're going to hit download. Make sure to check without skin. Hit download. And while that's going on, you can open up your Blender app here from the last video. I'm not going to go over all the setup that we did in the last video, but I'll go over some things. Remember your Mixamo root maker right here. It says root baker. I'm not sure why. I guess that's the name of the plugin. But you're going to unclick remove namespaces, and you're going to click use Unreal Engine bone names, and then we're going to take our jump we downloaded, and we're going to place it in the in folder. Remember, we have to have an in folder for our Blender add-on and an out folder. And you make sure you designate them right here from last time. So I have mine right here, my Mixamo in, accept. Go to my desktop, I have my Mixamo out, accept. Then we're going to hit batch convert. It'll be pretty quick because there's only one. I'm going to open up our UE4 editor again. We're going to go to player animations. We're going to go ahead and open up our out folder, which with our new root bone animation right here for our jump. Place it right there in our animations folder. Remember, for animations, we're going to uncheck import mesh. And we're going to go down, and we want the Orisa root bone skeleton, not the Orisa skeleton. Remember, this is why we did this last time, so we would have the root bone animation. And then we're going to hit import, and here's our animation. So we're going to click on our animation, and like last time, we have it starting from the T pose again. It does that little flip in there, and we're gonna fix that again by hitting pause, taking this little red box. We're gonna put it all the way there so you can see it starts at the T pose. We don't want that. We want it right there. Should be good. We're gonna right click on that, remove. Oops, what's going on there? There we go. Remove frame 0 to frame 1. Now it's going to cut it. We'll hit play. And now we have a smooth jumping animation to work with. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create an animation montage. An animation montage in Unreal Engine is used in some ways, or most ways, to combine animations together into sort of one animation. And in this way, we're not going to really combine animations, but we're going to use this to edit our animation a little bit to give it a little depth, because if I hit play here, actually let me hit pause, that probably be easier way of showing it. So she starts off and then she jumps and lands, but if she's coming from a great height, she'll go right into this pose at the end, and she'll just kind of stay at that pose through the remainder of the fall. We want to kind of have something that loops, let's say around here or maybe here. That will probably about here. That will allow her to sort of have some sort of loop here to hold this pose while she's falling till she can complete her jump animation. So let's go back into the main editor, and we're gonna right click on jump, and we're gonna go up to create animation montage, and now it will create an animation montage from this automatically from our jump to our jump montage. We're gonna open that up, So what we're going to do here is we're going to just pause this a second. As you can see, this is our entire animation. And what I want to do is I want to find a spot where I'm going to want to hold it while it's in the air. Alright, let's see. I'll just put it here for now, and we can always adjust this later. It's very early on in the project, so there's going to be many adjustments later. Probably we'll make an adjustment to this when we start doing our climbing and stuff. So I'm going to go up here. As you can see, it lines up right here to this area right here. And make sure you're first off on this default, well, you don't have a choice. Default group slot. And over here, we're going to right click this, new montage section. And we'll just call this loop for now. And then we're going to right click again and create a new montage section, and we're going to call it land. And then if you scroll with your mouse wheel, you can zoom in on these, because we're going to want to do that probably to fix this, because we're probably going to move this closer. It's probably going to jerk a little bit when I play it. And right here we have our default. If you look down here, our default, our loop, and our land sections. If I click on that and I hit loop, and then I'm going to hit play, and now I see, I told you she's going to jerk a little bit there. So to fix that, we're going to hit pause. We're going to move our land a little bit closer, as close as we can. That might be the closest we can get it. Oh, we want it to go back, don't we? I'm going to play it in here. So I'm going to play our loop. It's still jerking around in there, isn't it? Alright, let's see if we can fix this more. Can we move this? Alright, yeah, we can move it even closer. If you use the top one, I'm going to put it even closer. Hopefully that'll do it. And then we're going to move our line in between. Make sure this is in between here, because it will play whatever we're in between. It will play the loop here. If I move it here, it's going to play the land like it did last time. And we hit it, and now we don't have the jerkiness anymore. So we'll zoom out, and we'll implement this in our blueprints. So first, to do that, the very first thing we have to do is we have to implement our jump control. So if you go back to our project settings, there we go. I don't know why I was so late like that. But anyway, go back to our project settings and go down to input right here. We already have a jump function in that was already put into our blueprint earlier. It was already in there, but I just thought I should show you where it's at. You would have, you know, if it hadn't been in there, we would just have to add it like we added our toggle run walk, where we would just have to name an input setting, and then it's implemented here on the space bar, and it also has all these other controllers added to it. So we'll just exit out of that, and then we're going to go to our player blueprint folder, open up our player model blueprint here, and we'll just move this up a little bit, zoom in, right click, and just put, I think you should just put event jump. Here we go, input action events jump. So this gives us the input of pushing the spacebar. It says press. I'm going to click on that, drag it out here, and we're going to type jump again, and we're going to get this jump function right here. We're going to go ahead and hit that, and this is the actual action of jumping. And we're going to compile, save. Now we're going to hit play. We're going to walk our character around. We're going to hit jump. Now she doesn't actually do our animation because we haven't attached that yet, but we do have an actual jumping function here to work with. Escape out of that. So now we're going to go back to player animations, and we're going to open up our player animation blueprint now. We're going to go to our animation graph, and then we're going to click on this here. We're going to extend it out because we're going to add a default slot. right here like that. And we're going to connect it right there, just like that. And now what this is here, if we go back to our montage, we go up and this is our default slot right here. We're creating blueprints that tell the editor, we're going to walk, and then, there's going to be this default slot animation in between that and the exit. I'm going to hit compile. Now it's running. I'm going to go back to our player model. We're going to extend this out to add our play animation montage right there. Even it out so it looks nice and neat. We're going to click here, put in our jump montage, hit compile, go back into the editor, hit play, and now she's going to jump, but she's going to freeze in this pose, and I expected that just to show you that from this point she has to have something to tell her to go into the landing portion that we created for this. Because if you remember, let's go back to what we did over here. We cut this up. We cut this up into 3 sections of going from this default, the beginning of the jump, like this, and then we hit this other point where we get into the loop right here, and then the loop just keeps looping, and then we got to tell her to go into the final landing animation. So to do that, we're going to go back into our player model blueprint here. We're going to right click. You can just type the word land and get event on landed, which is a built-in function here in Unreal Engine. And then we're going to drag this out, and we're going to put another play animation montage here. And then just like last time, we're going to go ahead and click our jump montage, but we're going to fill in this start section name right here, and we're going to give it the name land, because right back here, this is what we called, where is it? This is what we called this second half here. We called it land. So it's going to go into the first part. It's going to go right into the loop. And then as it comes down, it's going to realize it hits the ground. And then it's going to play the second half of the animation montage. Hit save up there. Let's just make sure we hit compile and save on everything. So it's all good. And then I'm going to hit play. Let's just turn this around. And then I'm going to jump, and now it's kind of wonky that she just freezes like that, but we'll fix that in the future. But the point is that she goes up, and then she goes into this in-between pose, but then she goes right into her landing pose when she hits the ground. That way, regardless of how high we jump up, like if we do it over here, we can go and we can jump here, and she'll remain in that pose to the ground. She won't just go right through the full animation and then stay in our landing pose as she's falling, which is what we wanted to accomplish here. When we get into climbing, we're going to do all kinds of added details and stuff to our animations. But this is good for right now. Okay, let's get started on our crouching. Let's go over here to our Mixamo page. We'll just simply write crouching walk. And let's see, which ones do we like here? I think I kind of like this one, even though she has her hand extended out for a bow, but we want to put a weapon in her hand anyway, so I think this will work for us. Without skin, we'll just download that real quick. And now we want a right and left. Here's a left. Make sure to put in place. Download that. And you can pick any one of these that you want. These are just the ones I think I want for this project. We got a crouch walk right. And we want a crouching idle. And I think that will complete everything. So let's look here. She kind of has her face down. Is anything better? Yeah, I kind of like the one she's with the bow there. You know, click that one. Any others here to consider? No, I think I like what we got here. Going to go back to our Blender app, and we're going to open up our in folder. Going to go to my downloads. Going to just grab all these, put it in there. Lower that. Mine's all set up. Going to do our batch convert. Should take a moment because I got 4 of them to do, but not too long. And or maybe a little longer than I would have thought. There we go at 3. There we go, they're done. So then we're going to go back into Unreal Engine. We'll open up our out folder here. Move all these in here. Yeah, we'll just stick them on there. Unclick Import Mesh. Our Arista root bone skeleton. Let's just give this a moment to load all these in. And actually, oh wait, it's waiting on me. So put import all. Now it's going to load up all of them. And there we go. Now we have all our crouching animations ready to go. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to fix our animations because we still have these T poses. So I guess we can move it right there. It's pretty safe. Right click, 0 to frame 3, remove it. Go right down to our walking animation. To frame 1. The walking left animation. Move 0 to frame 1. And lastly, our walk right animation. Move 0 to frame 1. Hit save. We're going to go back over here. And we're going to create another blend space. We're going to right click, animation, animation blend space for our Arista root bone skeleton. And we'll name this very similar to the last one. We'll just call this player crouch underscore blend space. There we go. We'll open it up and we'll name it very similar to the other one. I believe this was on the horizontal axis. We called this our lateral speed, and we'll keep it to, I believe our walk was at 300, so negative 300 to 300. And on our, we'll keep this to, we'll divide it by 12 again, and then we'll call this our forward speed, and we'll make this the same thing, negative 300 to 300. And then we'll grab our, we'll save this first. Hit save, grab our crouch idle, start that at 0, there it is. Gonna go to our crouch walk left, gonna move it out a little more, 300, crouch walk right 300, and our forward speed at 300. Should be able to hit play. Grab this little guy, go from idle to forward. Did we not hit in place on here? Gonna have to fix that. Yeah. See, and this is what happens when you don't hit that in place on your animation. It's just gonna repeat like that. But we can fix that real quick. Just hit pause. That was our right animation. Crouch walk right. No problem. We can fix that very fast. Actually, it's good that I did that so you can see what happens when we with that sort of animation. Let me hit play again. If we don't hit in place, how it just keeps playing this keeps looping the animation like this over and over again. I probably should have shown that from the beginning, as opposed to when I go to the left, it you know, it just has a steady, nice animation to it. So it was a mistake, but I'm happy you got to see the mistake so you could see the results of that mistake, so you understand it better. So let's go back real quick. Let's grab our crouching walk. What was it, our right one? This one. So we're going to make sure to hit in place this time. Actually, let's just go get rid of everything first so there's no confusion when we put everything back in. So where's our crouching right? Let's just delete it so we can just import the same thing all over again without any confusion. Let's go to my in here. We'll just get rid of all of them. Go to the out. Delete all in the out. Alright, we're good. Gonna go over here to this. Oh wait, do I have a downloads folder too with this stuff? Okay, it's all out. Alright, so everything's good. It's now in place. Download without skin. Gonna download it real quick. Let's just get rid of all this on the bottom. Gonna open up my in folder. Gonna open up my downloads. Crouch walk right. Put it right in there. Go here. Batch convert. My out has the crouch walk right. Go back into our editor. And we'll just re-add this. Boom. No to the import mesh. Down to our Arista root bolt skeleton. Import it. Great. Go back to our crouching blend space. And now we have our crouch walk right. I can go ahead and put it in there. And I should be able to... Oh, I'm forgetting everything today. Let's go bring up our animation. And we gotta cut it. So we're gonna go here, go back to our T-pose. Remove that. Save. Go back to our crouching blend space. Crouch walk right. Put it there. Now we should be in good shape again. Gotta hit play first. Now we should be in good shape. We should have no more bad stuttering. There we go. A nice smooth transition between all our crouching animations. Now we just have to apply our toggle. There she goes to the left. Beautiful. So next we're going to go into our player animation blueprint. We're going to take our player crouch blend space. We're going to click it over here, drag it over here, and now we're simply going to connect the floats we created earlier. I'm going to zoom out here. We're going to highlight all this because we're going to move this over. We're going to need a little bit more space. And from here we're going to drag this guy out again because in between all this we're going to go with a blend possess by bool. And now we're going to put a bool to this. Actually, we don't want this to be the true one. Let's unhook that actually. So when we push the button for our crouch, which I guess I'll make C for now, I might change that later. When it's true, it's going to activate our crouch blend space. When it's false, it's going to be our walk blend space, but we need a bool attached to this. We just want to promote it to a variable. And then we'll call our variable, we'll call it is crouching. And I think that's good for now. Gonna hit compile. Oops, we need to connect everything here. Now we can hit compile. It's all nice and flowing. Okay, so next we're gonna go in here, and actually I'm first gonna create a folder, and we'll just call this crouching for now, just to keep ourselves a little organized. I'm going to put all that into there, just so I'm not having this huge amount of stuff that's just gonna sit there. That was all that. And then I'm going to create another folder, and we're just going to call this interface. And in here, so we're going to create something under blueprints, blueprint interface. We'll just call this blueprint interface player animations. We're going to open it up. We have this function here, and we're going to rename this crouching, and we're going to go down here, and under our inputs we're going to add a boolean, and we're going to call this enable crouching. There we go. Compile, save. Actually, let's rename this. Let's call this toggle crouch. It'll make a little more sense when we see it in our animation blueprint. We're gonna hit compile, enable crouching, good. I'm gonna go back into our animation blueprint. We're gonna click class settings. We're gonna go here to interfaces, right here, add. Now we're gonna go find our BPI player animations. We're gonna set that in there. Hit compile, save. We're gonna go into our event graph on our player animation blueprint, and we're going to right click, and what did we call this? We called this toggle crouch right there. Yep. And then we're gonna pull out this. Actually, we're gonna here. Oops, no, we didn't want it. We don't want it that way. We wanted to set it. So we're gonna set that there, and that way the event will be able to enable the crouching into our bool. Hit compile, hit save, and now let's just hit save here. And then we're going to go to our player model blueprint. Actually, first we have to set a button to this. So we're going to go over here to our project settings, go down to input, add an action mapping. We're going to name this crouch, and we'll assign, I said before that I was just going to assign the letter C. I think that's plenty good for now. Maybe later we'll do some adjustments to our buttons to make them more playable or better for the player, but I think that's good for right now. And now we're going to go back to our event graph. our general graph in our player model blueprint. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to right click and add our input action. This is where we push the letter C to activate the crouch. I'm going to go up here to our mesh, grab it, drag this out here, and add an anim instance to it, like so. And then we're going to go out here and we're going to add our interface that we created. That seems like a good spot for it. Then we're going to create another bool variable. We'll just call it crouching. And we're going to put this here. We're going to set it over here. And when pressed, it's going to set our bool, which is going to activate that. And it's going to enable our crouching. That was what we created in there. We're going to grab this again, put it over here. We're going to get crouching. And then we're going to have our not here. And we're going to put that there. Let's clean everything up a little bit. Like that. And like that. Compile. Save. Let's organize everything we did today. So let's take all these guys and we'll comment this. And we'll just put this as jumping for now. And we'll take everything here. We'll move it down a bit. We'll comment this. And we'll call this crouch toggle. I think that's going to make everything look a little better. We're going to hit compile. And we're going to hit save. And we're going to see how all this turned out. I'm going to go back into our editor. We're going to hit play. And we'll walk this way. I'll hit C. There we go. That's what we wanted to see. She's crouching. Crouches forward. Crouches to the side. Crouches to that side. That's great. Hit C. Uncrouch. And things are looking good. Let's check all our other controls. We hit tab, or R rather, to go to walking. Hit C. There we go. Everything's looking good. Uncrouch, jump. Great, we have come a long way. Now we can move on. So that's all for today. As always, thank you for watching. Like my video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and support me on Patreon. All links are in the description below. See you next time.